well. Okay, so in Team 1 we have Excal and a Red. In Team 2, both of... oh no, one with Zealots actually. Excal mixing it up a little bit, and Red with the Spectres. HellHound with the Spectres up in the top left corner, and Demonator with the Spectres. And then we have our Platika of the Marauders and Millionera with Spectres. So mostly Spectres as per normal. Let's just check what's happening here. Oh, and another Zealot's coming out from All We Need, and Def Jam with the Spectres in Team 4. So yeah, I mean 2 teams this time with Zealots, and then obviously Spectres in the top left corner, and 1 Marauders in the game. And let's just check if anybody spent anything. Yes, Excal has actually already spent his starting money. I'll check in a second on what. And also in Team 3 we have Platika already buying the concussive shells. Yeah, he's already bought, so he can stim. Basically, obviously the benefit of doing so is to be able to stim your entire army with the marine stim that you now get for free in the game. And Excal, I'm wondering what... Okay, he's started off with an armor upgrade, so now his Zealots have 3 armor. And against Marines especially, that's going to make quite a bit of difference, because now instead of doing 4 damage per hit, they're only doing 3 damage per hit. So, you know, that's a 4 down to 3 reduction. And yeah, you see Excal rammed his entire army there. It's actually 3 armies were shooting on him throughout the duration of that. And let's just see what the bounty's like. Excal's actually not showing his bounty board, which is fun. He doesn't care. But I do care, so I'll have to go on somebody that does. And yeah, Excal with 589, a Demonator up in the top left corner, took quite a bit of his Zealots there, and he's on 700 bounty. Already with a strong lead. This is very dangerous. When Demonator has a strong lead at this time at 4 minutes, yeah, he's going to get his big elite investment out immediately. Not a second wasted, so the Seekers are going to come earlier, etc, etc. And yeah, he's going to be able to get quite a nice farming lead on anybody that doesn't go elites. I mean, I've talked about this, you know, we've talked about this quite a lot. Anybody that's not getting the 4-minute elites better have a bloody good plan on how they're going to not feed anyone, like right here. Feeding a BC, even just this one BC is 300 invested in elites that is out farming whatever Platika's going to be using. I mean, there is lag in here, but actually it's not me this time, so that's fun. At least I think it isn't. Or maybe it is. I seem to be moving around quite easily. Big Seeker coming off on Excal there from Demonator, and the Big Savior to mop up Excal. So yeah, this puts Excal in a very dangerous position, because generally you're not going to be able to, without the huge mass that he needs. Oh, he has a support tower, so he'll be able to alleviate that need for mass with the support tower Chrono Boost. But otherwise, you know, he's going to be up against the big BC farming potential, and the Raven shots as well, taking out the backbone of his army, which of course is his Marines. There's a ghost play coming on here from Millionera. HellHound, I think, nope, he didn't realise. Didn't realise the ghost had come out, didn't realise that it's probably Millionera coming straight to him, and that's a minus 300 immediately for him. Demonator, very good, you know, he didn't need that obs necessarily, but he's now got it because he prides himself on being able to use many different units, and now he's got the obs to prevent any ghosts just sitting there like he did there, because that obs costs 250. If that obs just saves 1 Raven, which costs 300, that obs has already paid for itself. So, pretty decent move. We've got Oracles coming up for Def Jam. A very safe unit. You're always going to be able to farm with Oracles. They're probably the safest amount of farm that you can get. But of course, the trade-off for that is that they just don't farm as well as a Reaper or a BC or anything. Yeah. So, oh, a big Ultralisk coming out from Red. After he's seen the Oracles, that's a very strange choice, of course. And the 3BC will be able to Yamamoto those, the Ultralisk. And then we've got a big HK play coming out of Platika. Of course, the idea is that Millionera is going to defend those HK from any other ghosts that come out. And ghosts are, of course, the most easy, the natural counter to the HK. Just a few snipes whilst they're farming. They're not very fast to move away. So once you've locked on, if the HK player isn't very, very fast at realizing that that you have locked on, the HK are always going to go down. And then later on, the HK will just die to EMP. So very odd that he decided to actually go... Yeah, very odd that he actually decided to go HK Tournament Pre-Made, because late game the HK will always suffer against the 4 EMPs from a double ghost, and you saw the MUTA come out there as well. So interesting choices coming out today. And of course, the good thing about oracles is that they will be able to you can tech them into supremacy to deal with an ultralisk, or you can use induction to get the extra farm. Def Jam needs to be taking this tower here. They're like, all of these units here didn't need to be shooting at him. If he'd just taken this one unit, it's only one unit that's allowing the vision up here. All he needs is to take that. Just send three or even one Spectre. It's like one shot now. 15 HP on that Marine, and he could be having a good time. 88 kills on this Ultra with 6 armor on it. It's already got an armor upgrade on there, and probably no upgrades on the army at all. Oh no, +3 on the Spectres, and then now +1 armor on the Ultra. Excal gone for the Warp Zealots, how interesting. Looking at the bounty, as you'd expect, somebody that's trying to get the Warp Zealots for 10 minutes will be lowest bounty, but if he can, you know, he's got a much higher chance of gaining some extra minerals now with the tech advantage, because he's teched so quickly. You know, if you tech immediately at 10 minutes, it can give you a few minutes before anybody else does. And he's got the support tower for the mass as well, which you'll notice nobody else really has except for Millionera, who I've noticed does this quite often. He just buys the support tower very early, like just regardless of situation, he'll get that support tower because it's 50% more units, I guess. That's, you know, he's like, well, how can 50% more units be wrong? And he's probably right to do this. Just the macro advantage is quite large. Big jump in onto HellHound. Not sure if Excal should be doing this, because the BC DPS is very nice. I don't know. Big Seeker coming out from Demonator as well. Oh, and the Ultra goes down. Like I said, there's 3 oracles there. He's obviously gone for the Supremacy upgrade, which is a 2% damage per hit of their max health, right? So that's 6% of the Ultra's HP dying per attack beam from these oracles. So all you need is a little bit of energy on there, and about 5 seconds, and everything goes down really quickly. Yeah, plus that's 6% plus 150 damage from the 3 oracles combined. That's their DPS, 150 right now. The big +5 investment. But let's take a look at the bounty here. Excal's going to struggle with melee units like that. Millionera actually struggling quite hard against All We Need, who's also got a similarly low bounty. But Demonator from the very beginning had a huge lead and is just continuing that. You know, there's only one thing that's really a threat to his Ravens, and that's the Ghost. And he immediately bought an Obs to neutralize that. So Demonator, he doesn't need to invest in anything else really. He's gone for the quick Phantom, so he's got the 6 range units that he needs. So he'll be able to trade very favorably against top right, who are still on 5 range Marauders and 5 range Spectres, and then get the big Seekers off that he needs. So he's gone +3 Phantoms, and no health upgrades just yet. But he's gone 800 minerals into those Ravens, 250 into the Obs. So he's got 1,000, let's call it 1,000 minerals in Elites, and then he's got 800 in
our allies are being attacked.
In the compound.
Our allies are being attacked.
And then 250 in the Ogre. So everything is as it should be. Again, these big jumps from Excal, but there's just too many flying elites around to to be going Warp Zealots, I think. And at the moment, you know, both of these compositions, Ultra Marine and Warp Zealot Marine, you know, both of them are countered by flying elites, and that's what is on both sides of the map. Oh, interesting. Very quick temples from All We Need. I wonder why he's decided to go for the quick temples as opposed to marine damage or more damage on his Corsairs. Okay, and finally we've got some anti-air. Like I said, air elites counter everything on this team. So the Vikings probably needed to come out a bit earlier because you know you're just not going to get any farm. Even upgrading more on your Ultra or on your Spectres, how are you going to get any farm against all of these flying elites? 2 Ravens, 3 BC, 3 Oracles, like +4 on your Spectres isn't going to change anything. It's not going to make you farm any better because your main investment is this big Ultralisk, which is going to get wrecked by everything that's flying. So these needed to have come probably immediately after the Ultralisk rather than you know, like 16 minutes in. It's about 10 minutes late. Because by now, yeah, I mean, top left team, 3.4k on Demo, and 3.3k on Platika on the top right. Ooh, big play from Millie there. Those Oracles can really shred through a Ghost. A Ghost can't do anything against the Oracles because it disables, or even the snipe coming off on the Thor there. If you look, see, he's gonna take the Oracle. Let's see if there'll be a reaction from Def Jam. Yeah, there is a reaction, and ooh, very close. If that was slightly faster, the Ghost would have definitely gone down, and then it would have been a 200 for a 200 trade. So if you kill an Oracle and then the Oracles kill you, the Oracle player loses nothing because he gets 200 for your Ghost, and it's 200 to remake the Oracle. So all that happens in that situation is that really you lose 100 minerals from having to rebuy your Ghost, because you get 100 for killing the Oracle, but then you have to spend another 100 on top of that you just got to rebuild. Excal opting still for the 0. Very surprised. Excal really trying to ragey poo it up this game. No elites or heroes on top of this. Just going straight for that strong Merc play. But like I say, against a player that invests so heavily in elites early game, like Demonator, I don't feel like this will ever really pay off. If he was next to, say, Platika, who for quite a while didn't get anything, you know, he was just on Marauders with the upgraded Marines, then maybe it would have worked. And here we go, Demonator adding yet another control group onto him. He's got now 3 Obs, Raven, and the Medevac. And we'll see what kind of plays he's intending to do with that. Probably a bit too early to be dropping. He's only got a Marauder compound on one side, and these warps could be worth the drop, but it's obviously it's always slightly harder to drop. Yeah, it's always slightly harder to drop a melee player because inherently melee units have better stats. So if you're going to drop a unit pretty much into melee range, and then those melee units with the superior stats are going to obviously rip through everything you have, and warps are even more dangerous in that sense because they will jump on anything immediately. So there's no time where you as a range unit are using the fact that you're a range unit by shooting them before they arrive. No, as soon as the units land, they're going to start getting torn apart by the warps. BC going to go down there to the Vikings. Yeah, important not to underestimate just how much DPS 4 Vikings have, especially with the upgrade. They're designed to counter this unit, so you should have probably pulled them back way before. Any farm that you got with those BC is definitely not worth the 300 that you just had to pay back. But HellHound's a less experienced player than, say, Bashmasher, who wouldn't have made such a mistake against the Vikings. Not a very favourable concave there for Millie. Yeah, definitely needs to play with Platika, but you can see Demonator is having a lot of fun with the Ravens in the meantime, pressuring the shit out of this compound. very low health Ultra there.
Your forces are under attack. Upgrade complete.
Oh, Stalker's coming out for Def Jam, and a ton of them as well. He's had that compound. He hasn't moved out with those. Quite interestingly. And yeah, top left team doing best by bounty. Excal really lagging behind there. But yeah, like I just said, that start was just really atrocious. Like, there's no synergy whatsoever. They might as well have just both gone with the same strat, because you've gone for a big fat melee unit and then small melee units and a big fat melee unit, and both getting countered by the same shit. Oh, here comes a big jump in from the Excal. Not sure if he's, especially if the transfuses come out from that support tower, not sure if anything's going to happen here. Yep, there's a one transfuse. Yeah, nothing's going to happen there. I don't think Excal probably didn't kill a single unit. He was just really banking on getting this, but not quite enough. Maybe if, like, right now would be a better time for that attack to have happened, because his unit's literally standing in front of his compound when that attack came in, so the BC helped a lot. Big blinking again from Excal. Nice surround, so there's no chance of escape there, but he doesn't really need to escape there, because once again the BC are going to tear through. Oh my gosh, but actually that was a move command instead of an attack command, and HellHound just literally walked his units through like the warp cellar munching machine, and lost probably about 100% more units than he needed to there. Probably twice as much than he needed to. It's quite a bit sad. Hello Bazza, nice to see you in the Twitch chat there. Snipe coming out from Millie, again very dangerous. If there's a reaction, you know, if he's going to react, oh my god. That ghost is really in there. Look at that, oh my gosh. He gets it and immediately recalls out. Oh, that's really sad. That was really in there. I mean, you have to give these guys a little bit of leeway. They just haven't played as many pre-mades. I'm very happy that they are here and playing and up to the challenge, but they just haven't played as much, so you can't expect as much to come out of them. Ooh, one of those Ravens just died to just +1 Marines, was it? Yeah, wow. +5 on the warp zealots, but +1 Marines took out that Raven. Very surprising. Still opting just to go for the battle cruiser. I mean, in theory, the way the game's supposed to work is HellHound's supposed to add Cyclones to his army right now. Tried to snipe on that Raven, didn't quite manage it, and look at that Seeker. All those +3s are from that one Seeker. That was a monstrous fucking Seeker. Oh wow, you notice Millie is on 1700 minerals, so that's an air compound that we're going to be seeing coming up from him. Just going to make it much harder for the teams on either side of him to move out onto the map as confidently. So we're going to basically need to see Goliaths come out of Demonator or HellHound. Obviously, Demonator has already gone for Phantoms, so less preferable that he has to go Goliath. But I'm not sure if HellHound plays Medevac, and without the Medevac, Goliaths don't actually seem to be that effective against, well, they're just not. They're not as effective against air units. Not quite the monstrous Seeker that we saw a second ago, but still, at this point in the game, at 30 minutes in the game, getting a Seeker is really nice. Another big jump in from Excal. We're going to see a transfuse, and we don't see a transfuse. HellHound needed to have transfused. Nothing more to say there. But that was just +150, so if Excal had sent 15 Warp Zealots, that's 120 minerals, so it would have been a fair trade, 150 for about 150. Big blink in. And an instant recall from the HK player, Platika. Let's check the bounty real quick.
Your forces are under attack.
Platika, quite, he's leading with the HK, quite surprisingly. Yeah, Platika leading the HK, but of course he will have lost some things, so the true bounty is difficult to gauge. Another enormous blink in from Def Jam. And Def Jam doing well. You know, he's got Vikings threatening his oracles, and he says, "Well, you know what? I have. I don't know actually. Yeah, he's got the stronger elite. He's got the stronger Merc upgrades. So in a Viking versus Viking battle, he will win, obviously. So he just said, well, I'll get my own Vikings, no worries. I can do that too. And they kind of just float there, and if there is another air unit, then you don't really need to micro them all that much. Big Savior coming out. Big Savior. Well, it could have been big. I mean, that's a fair amount. There's not going to be any value on a Savior for the next 30 minutes, so that investment, kind of investment, might have been worth it. What I'd say about HellHound is he just needs to upgrade into Goliaths at this point. Maybe that Savior was because he's got 900 minerals now. I'm hoping that that Savior was an attempt to get enough minerals to get the Goliath compound. If he gets anything else now, it'll be quite a big mistake and reduce the chances of Demonator's team. So we'll see. He's got 1200 minerals now. Will he buy the right thing, or will he just buy some random unit and hope for the best? Because there's MUTA out for the Millionera. So he needs to spend that correctly. That's a big, for that team, that's going to be a big decision. Where are the oracles? Where is Def Jam right now? He's just sat in his base. He's got blink stalkers just right here. Blink in. You have vision. You should have complete map dominance right now. This is your territory. All the way up until here is your territory. You don't want to get a Savior to the face, but everything here is so easy for this player to control. He shouldn't be as passive as he is. So here come the big Viking blink forwards. Jesus. Okay, all of the Vikings on the left have gone down. I think a couple of things went down for him as well. But very twitchy right now. Very twitchy. Bash is not enjoying how HellHound is playing the VC. He's making that very clear in the Twitch chat. Right, so what did he spend his money on? He spent his money, but on what? +3 Marines, and he's got a lot of health on those Marines. So I'm going to hazard a guess, and +8 Spectres. He had that 1200 minerals, and because I imagine he just hasn't seen. Let's check. Yeah, he has no idea that there are MUTA here. And he's still on Spectres, and he's going for Marines, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Demo needs to savor this. Yeah. That needed to have come... Well, I mean, he did do the right thing, but it could have come a bit earlier. Excal taking quite a few Savior. He's going to run these warps, hoping to finish that off there. But we'll see. No, Demo's reacted. Big wall of units, and that's quite a few +8s there, actually. Maybe 15 +8s. Excal doing a bit of the feed. Big Savior. Oh, but the blink out. Very, very strong for this particular situation. Still, that's quite a few, probably 200 minerals and stalkers there.
Upgrade. So
Demonator on the 7.5k, and then neighboured to Platika on 8.2k with the HK. Like I said, I'm not particularly worried about HK in a pre-made, just because in the late game he will lose to the EMPs. Or at least statistically he will lose to the... Oh, massive blink in, and that Ghost... He blinked his HK out, but Millionera obviously doesn't get the benefit of that recall, and immediately enormous loss to Millionera, who loses that to 250. Big MUTA coming out, being shown now. Kind of dangerous, because all we need is on temples, which he teched, like I said, very early. Very strange to tech so early. Because temples aren't even that good at tanking until the late game, so going early temples, it's not like going early warp sellers, which is like, whoa, okay, now my zealots doing way more damage, they're moving much faster, they're blinking everywhere. Temples early, not really worth the investment, and you're locked into tech. So, you know, Millionera saw, okay, well, Stalkers and temples against MUTA, even if I have trash bounty, which I do. 4.2k, they've got 5k and 7k, so 4.2k not very good. And you know, even if he has bad bounty, he's going to be able to farm both of these players really, unless they get something like a Thor or something out. And a Wraith's coming out for Red.
Acknowledged.
Again, yeah, this team not very prepared for air, and MUTA there for the taking later. But I wouldn't have gone Wraiths because HellHound still hasn't picked his Merc, which means he can easily get those Goliaths that he's going to need for those MUTA lists. And then, I'm not sure, I can't remember if HellHound can use it. Yeah, I'm not sure if he knows how to use a medevac, but if he does, then this team is fucked because Goliaths counter both the Warp Zealots and the Wraiths. So anytime you just drop units anywhere along their side of the map, anytime they want any map dominance, you just drop Goliaths. And what are they going to do? They're going to throw Warp Zealots at you to get wrecked, or they're going to throw Wraiths at you to get wrecked, or they're going to throw both at you, and then Multilock's going to farm you both at once. So really, really stupid, and there's no synergy. Once again, this entire team is countered by Goliaths and Air Elites. Yeah, so I don't know what to say. Just really bad play from these two. You'd expect a lot more. Well, I mean, it's mostly Red's fault because Excal made his intentions very clear from the beginning. Like, he went Zealots first, so that would mean don't buy an Ultralisk, and then he also went, he also teched into Warps quickly, which means don't buy anything that is going to get hard countered by Goliaths. So I don't know what Red's doing, but not a very smart decision at all. Meanwhile, there's going to be quite a scuffle. Oh, big Seeker. It didn't actually kill that many Mutas, but it definitely softens them up. Get a few yellow numbers out there. Because remember, 16 Muta. Every Muta is worth more than 5 Marines in bounty. Nice, cute little 3 Muta split off there to say, yeah, okay, Seeker these 3 Muta, that's fine. And huge pressure coming off from these two. Still with the Vanilla Marauders and HK. And yeah, so he's gone Vanilla Marauders, HK for some extra DPS, and then he's going for Marines, which are going to be, of course, the most useful thing you can have at a sudden death. Is strong Marines, or a Dark Archon, but he's going to go into a Dark Archon. Big jump in from the Excal, but actually this is only 150, and if we check how many warps is he committing to this, 24, 48, and then a couple extra, so about 50 warps. Oh my gosh, but HellHound almost losing his CC there. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, finally he's done the right thing. I mean, get tanks now, or sentries to force field out the Warp Zealots, but I would get tanks just for general purpose, extra DPS in your base. Yeah. And then you'll be safe. Just a big massive Goliaths, a medevac, and some sentries, or some tanks, and you should be pretty safe. Looking at the bounties, yeah, Demonator and HellHound are doing really well in bounty. They're just getting a lot of pressure, and you can feel that. It almost feels like they're losing, but actually they're doing really well in upgrades. Let's just click on the Marine. +6/+6. Big Wraith coming in. He's going to lose that compound. That was fairly needless. Although actually, there's no bounty there, so I think he denied that. Yeah, no bounty came off of that. Which, if he did deny, is pretty sick. But no, mate, rebuild your compound. You have enough. It should be enough. Yeah, he has enough. 550. Or he needed just that. Yeah, he needed a few more minerals. Demo needs to pull back now and just pretty much defend HellHound's compound, who doesn't seem to be dealing with the pressure very well. Yeah, like I say, they've got air on both sides, so these Goliaths needed to happen when he said he should have bought them with the 1200 minerals, but because he went for Marines instead, he hasn't got the enormous mass that he needs. So they should just bunker down for the next 20 minutes pretty much. Just bunker down, make sure they don't lose any compounds, make sure they don't lose any elites or anything, and then at sudden death they'll be in a tremendous spot, right? Because they've both got decent marines, so it's not going to be hard for them to up those marines and play for sudden death. And they've got Goliaths, like I say, which counter everything in bottom left. So that's all they need here. Those could have been 2 Yamamotos on the BC. Oh my god, if they lose this... Okay, Demonator playing well, guarding his ally's compound is going to prevent any warps from doing serious damage to that. Yeah. Like I say, I don't know why HellHound moved out there. Absolutely pointless. Like, what did he expect? If he moves out alone, the chances that he's going to get 2 teams fighting him, which is exactly what happened, is very high. So he just needs to just mass these Goliaths. Oh my god, they have +8 Goliaths. Like, that's insane. All he needs is a medevac and 800 supply of Goliaths, and then that team is fucked. Like, there's nothing that they can do against that. Yeah, but they need to survive, basically. Yeah. Meanwhile, yeah, you got this MUTA and Destroyer's coming out because he's like, well, okay, what's going to counter my friend's MUTA lists? Well, obviously it's going to be Goliaths, so I'll hard counter those Goliaths. Fairly reasonable. Of course, slightly undermined by the fact that he's gone for pure Marines, so even though he's got the Destroyers, the Goliaths, enemy Goliaths are still going to do well. Like, right now, this is just retarded. Like, why has he moved out? The little supply that he already has, he's moved out. And then fed a BC. Yeah, this is just really bad. Like, what he needs right now is Goliaths, and a ton of Goliaths. Rather than engage 2v1, and then, oh gosh, if he loses this as well, it's going to be a tragedy. It's going down. Very close. Oh my god. Yeah. Look at that. 200 health. Yeah, I mean, like I say, if you've got nothing to attack the enemy team with, just expect that they will attack you together. Like, that was a big air warp ultralisk engagement, and then you fed your BC, which is just completely out of position over here for no reason. So like, all you've done there is lost 300, and then now you've taken even more damage on that armory. And Excal's just going to be waiting for that timing to jump in and attack you. Yeah, Red, known for lagging, is lagging. Not a big surprise. Yeah. Bash is saying that HellHound is making a big mistake in playing very passively with the BC, which I agree with, because effectively you invest 900 minerals into the 3 BC, and then you guaranteed have to spend another 200 minerals a few minutes later on the upgrade. So you've got 1100 in elite investments. That is roughly twice as much as everybody else is going to buy. Because usually, you know, you get 4 Reapers and then you upgrade, that's 600, and you've already spent 1100, or you get 2 Ravens and the upgrade, that's 800, so you're still 300 more than even a Raven player. So generally you've invested a lot more in elites, and your army is much stronger because of that, and you're able to take better engagements with the extra money that you've poured into elite investments early. So what Bash usually does is he completely takes over the map. Like, he will take his tower, take his allies' tower, make sure that they're not getting pressured on either side, and then they will sit mid and start pushing very early. Like, you get that very early dominance, because no one has Goliaths, no one has Ghosts, no one has Vikings early on to deal with it. And even though Red completely misplayed by not buying Vikings earlier, he did eventually get them. So that's like the time where you would then pull back maybe and then start dealing with the Goliaths. But when you go BC, you definitely have to play around the fact that you have BC, right? So you'd get Goliaths early, quite early, or Stalkers, as Bash does, to deal with enemy Ghosts or enemy Vikings. Goliaths and Stalkers deal with both of those counters to BC quite well. But yeah, HellHound, you see, even though Demonator did really well, so it's not a case of an ally not doing well. Yeah, Red is gone now, so once again the game has been fucked, and Excal is fucked by that fact. Yeah, but generally speaking, with an ally like Demonator who's taken his side, he had map control for the large part of the game. So you had the opportunity to take big engagements early on with those BC and take dominance. But yeah, HellHound not as confident as he should be. Oh my gosh, that compound, look at it, 150 health. Oh dear. I mean, Excal's thinking, oh well, I'm fucked anyway, I might as well try and make the big plays. If I get this compound, it will be quite big. Minus 550 for HellHound and plus 550 for myself. For me. And look, he's looking for another one. Oh dear. The desperate plays. And yeah, if I were Excal, I would chrono boost both of our compounds and just sit in base with double elites. Because even though Red left, it's the strength of air is mainly just the fact that you have the units. You don't even really need to do all that much with them. You just need to have them. So like you don't want a big drop against these wraiths. If you've got 900 supply or 800 supply of wraiths sitting here, like that gives you a lot of defense, a lot of strength, and also he can start taking compounds and forcing anti-air turrets and stuff like that out with the units. It's not like you need to actively manage wraiths to get use out of them. Oh, look at this big ultra coming out, going directly for the compound. You rarely see an ultra trying to kill a compound, but there you have it. And then he's out of there, saves the ultra, saves the world, and he's outie. There it is, the big play. I mean, obviously that was an enormous mass that he'd just rammed into Demonator, who with his, look at this, +9 marines, he's got the upgrades, he's got the range upgrades, he's just bought 2 attack speed upgrades, so he's almost maxed his marines, he's got good health on them, he's got very strong phantom, 6 attack, and he's actually gone for the stun. Yeah, nice, good to see that. It's only really Andrew that does the stun, but yeah, good to see. Since Andrew hasn't been playing very much recently, it's good to see somebody up take the reign and start using that. These HK, 344 kills on one HK. Wow, 280 on the other. I mean, that is a very, very good payoff. Like, if you think that one of those just costs 175 minerals, one of those costs less than 2 Reapers. Yeah, if you're getting 200 and something, 280 kills on them, yeah, that's working out really well.
Acknowledged.
Thor coming out from All We Need to deal with these MUTA a little bit better. That's fine. Thor is fine. It's not completely rushed like in the other game. The last video I made, don't rush late game units. But there is this Millionera ghost who is ready to deal with Thor. I mean, nice positioning. He's run the Thor off to the left there. He could be, you know, actually using the Thor to attack there, but at least he knows, I hope he knows, that the ghost likelihood somewhere around here. Like, where else is it going to be? He's invested extra attack damage for me. You know, he wants it. But not particularly strong defense against these HK. Now we've got a Festa coming out. Again, I mean, it's not like I should say, oh well, if the enemy has a ghost, never go Festa. But you know, you have to be very careful. First of all, you can't do this. Yeah, immediate death. That Festa lasted a good 20 seconds and managed to not fungal anything before dying. Yeah, so you got the enemy ghost. I mean, he's almost 100% perched here. Alright, so unless you think, oh, his ghost is definitely busy with an enemy HT or an enemy hero on the other side, which you could scan and find out, okay, well maybe he's trying to kill the Raven, but you might have scanned his obs as well, so it's like, okay, he's probably not going to focus on this Raven player, he's probably going to focus on us. Once you've got a Thor and a Festa, you know, Festa is the best tasty treat for a ghost, because you can just EMP that, you don't even need to hang around. As soon as it's in range, you just double EMP that and he's dead. So we're remaking that in Festa. Not sure that's the right decision. Probably should just, you know, cut your losses. But yeah, here we go. He's probably going to get EMP'd again, but you know, he'll say, I'm going to try. Big drop in from Demonator trying to get this compound, but he's up against 2 armies, one which can fly over the other army, so the DPS out of this is incredible. And Demonator unfortunately does not have the... oh god, yeah, Demonator does not have the multi-lock on his Goliaths to deal with those 2 armies, and my god, extra Ultralist coming out from Excal, who's saying, you know, fuck this, I'm alone, I'm gonna use the gas from having my ally leave, I mean, he could actually get another one, right? How much is it? 3? Yeah, okay, so it's 3 gas. So he's got 6 gas, and he's got 6 gas in his hero. So he's got that extra 1,500 minerals it would cost him in order to possess 2 Ultralists ordinarily. And they, of course, give each other armor with the Juggernaut buff. That's 2.5 armor that one's getting, and 2 armor, because depending on how much they've upgraded it here, it gives you 0.5 extra armor per upgrade. So one of them's upgraded more, and you'll see that these units will actually flicker depending on, so it goes 2, 2.5, 2, 2.5. That's depending on which aura is active at the time, but they'll basically switch in between. But basically extra 2 armor on his units, and more importantly extra 2 armor on each Ultralist, so now they're on 14.5 armor, and these Marines are not doing, they're doing 0.5 damage. So HellHound, quite a bit of a boo-boo, didn't really play the BC how you're supposed to, which is very confidently and very positionally. Demonator played very well, early game advantage with the elites, almost 100% now. Demonator has the early game advantage, farming better than everyone else. But he's up against too many different things, like he can't counter air with his composition, so that's why, Demo, if you're wondering like why doesn't Grim always open with Phantoms, because I always say Phantoms are probably the best choice in terms of farm, it's because you're locked in 800 minerals into the Phantoms, and it's harder, it's not impossible, but it is harder to deal with air later on. Yeah. I mean, HellHound had a good start, like he didn't do badly with the BC early on, but once the Vikings came out, he started feeding them to Vikings for no reason. And also, just to lose your compounds to Warp Zealots, at this level, you shouldn't be doing that, When Excal went Warp Zealots, I was thinking he's never going to get a compound. It's way too late. Everyone here should be too good for that. Because we're used to drops. We're used to a big medevac full of units dropping and killing compounds. So, a trickle of Warp Zealots which actually have to run along all the way over here, and it shows you on your radar tower that they're running along, and then they're fucking standing here for a while for the duration Excal needs to, fumble his CC, I need to scan, and then the Warp Zealots jump in. Like, you just get so much time to react to Warp Zealots that it's just amazing that you lose even one compound to this strategy anymore. Like, everyone should be way too good in reflexes to do that. But yeah, these two teams thoroughly fucked over Demonator and HellHound. Like I say, quite a sad game for Demonator because I can't really pinpoint where he made the mistake. I could say don't go Phantoms, go Goliath, or stay on Spectres for the duration that it takes for everybody else to pick their Merc compound. That is pretty much what I do. I just wait. I'll be on Spectres for the duration that it takes for just as long as I know that there's one player on the map that could go air. I won't pick a Merc. I'll just keep adding elites onto my composition. Like I say, it's a big disadvantage because you're not on 6 range like everybody else is. But if you're caught with your pants down, it doesn't matter if you've got a really great bounty lead. If the enemy counter you with something that you have nothing to answer for, answer it with, like air units, like the big HK players, then you could get really fucked over. Just because mechanics are more important than bounty, even more important than micro. Sadly, I hope the game eventually stops reflecting that, but generally speaking, that's true. So now we've got sudden death, and it's interesting because this team has a free income worth 1 tower. So you'll notice that Excal on the left is going to be holding this tower with 1 Warp Zealot, and no one's ever going to take that from him. And Platika over here is going to be holding this tower. No one's ever going to be...
Game paused.
No one's ever going to be contesting that income. So what Conce has done in his wisdom is to say, okay, if you're the sandwich team, if you're all we need in Def Jam in this position, if you're the sandwich team, I will give you the income of 1 of these towers. So basically every remaining team of the 3 teams now has that income every minute. I believe it is... what is it? 25? Yeah. No. 50. Yeah, it's 50 minerals per minute, which basically you cannot take away from all we need in Def Jam. So Def Jam can sit comfortably in the corner and they will get that 50 minerals per minute for both of them, 100 minerals for their team, and there's nothing anybody could do about that, which is quite interesting because on the one hand, you actually just cannot take that income away from them, and even if they take the other towers here, they could have 4 towers plus the income, so they could be holding 5 towers in essence, which is quite funny. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, of course I'm here. Yeah, so generally, but generally it's very good because otherwise Def Jam and All We Need, just, thanks to the fact that the cross team died, they are now fucked because the other 2 teams, just do a little countdown and there we go. Yeah, so the other 2 teams just have this 3 towers, so it's just inherently really unfair that they don't. So now they have that, and basically what it means is they can also take these towers. If they can actually like tank here and tank there and hold either tower or just do a really sneaky mid dominance, just run in there and hope Excal runs by. Because Excal's going for the kill here, he sees the threat, this is the more dangerous team, and he says, alright, a sudden death, they haven't got any saviors now, so I'm going to try and run in there and kill them, which is what we're seeing now. Yeah, Excal definitely gone for that nihilistic approach, saying, well, my ally left, I'm almost guaranteed to lose this unless I do something crazy, and here he is doing something crazy, oh my gosh, but he doesn't manage to get that planetary fortress. Very wise actually of Platika. I'm not sure if he knows that Excal is crazy and he's liable to do something like this, but Platika are actually going for the sudden death planetary fortress. Yeah, I mean that PF, if he didn't have that, that would almost 100% have died because he's only on 4k health after that attack, which means that 16,000 damage happened, and if you look, a normal CC has 10k health. So without the PF decision there, that would have gone very differently. And top right, from going from almost guaranteed to win to, well, almost guaranteed to lose because it's just Millionera left, and there aren't these really powerful Marines coming out of Platika, who, like I said, has been garnering the Marine strength for quite a while now. He went HK and then he went Marines, and that was since like 5 minutes into the game. So it's been 55 minutes effectively of him just slowly adding units. At some point it's like, alright, destroyers would be good just because there's so many Goliaths on the team to deal with my allies that are new to this. But mostly, yeah, he's just like, well, Marines are the game, are the point of the game. The game is named after them. I'm gonna go and fucking make Marines. It's Marine Arena, right? So without those Marines, Millionera just wouldn't be able to compete. Millionera's gone for a nice support build. Like I say, it's not that he's been playing awfully, it's that he's gone for a deliberate support build. He's not taking all the farm and trying to compete with Platika. He says, no, Platika, you take all the farm. I'm going to deal with the Thor that comes out. I'm going to deal with any enemy ghosts that are trying to deal with your HK. I'm going to go air, which at the very least is going to make it way harder for the enemy teams to deal with our composition, right? Because now we have to think about flying units, even if they're not very good. Yeah, even if they're not very good, will add a lot, Oh, you have to go Wraiths now. Oh, you have to go Goliaths now. You're not going to be able to go for the more scary DPS heavy choices because if you do, you're going to get fucked by the mechanic of air units. So very good support build from Millionera, and you can see most of the farm is happening from Platika, because everybody else has countered, more or less, has countered these Mutalisks, which means that it's going to be harder for Millionera to feed. I mean, obviously, he's going to be able to come in when the enemy retreats like that and pick off an Ultra Disc and pick off a bunch of units. I mean, the hotkeys are unborrowed, and Con says broken, and Con says that because he plays on grid, it's harder for him to realize, but he will sit down and fix all of those one day. I mean, he's promised that anyway. But he says that it's just not on the top of his priority right now. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, custom games are always going to be a bit fucked up when it comes to this. Ooh. Excal going for the big, again, nihilism right here. You know, it's a I say nihilism, you can call it a YOLO strat. He's like, I'm just gonna, anytime there's a chance, it's like a 50-50 chance, maybe I'll kill that HK, maybe I won't. Rather than playing safe, Excal's like, I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna go for it. If I feed, whatever, I was gonna lose anyway. So it's that crazy. Yeah, but who's off Unborrow? Yeah, there's a little button that you have in hotkeys which allows you to use the same hotkey for the same... where is it? So if you go on, say, Viking, that's Viking. Where is it? Oh, where is that little button? Oh, allow toggle conflicts up here. They share the same hotkey, like cloak and decloak, like fighter mode and assault mode, and like burrow and unburrow, obviously. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, you just need to tick that little box. Once you know, everything becomes nice and easy, just like most things in life, really. Once you have the knowledge, it's not scary anymore, and there you have it. But generally, oh my gosh, that Ultra really went down. Yeah, the Phoenix lift there, plus the HK munching on it. And obviously, HK dealing, let's check. Dealing 240 damage. That 15 armor that the Ultra has, you know, doesn't really affect the DPS, even a small percentage. 240 damage and then 20 armor, you know, it's not really, I mean, the 8k HP is still going to soak up a little bit, right? But 250 damage off of, so 750 damage per, let's call it 1 second. 750 damage. So in 10 seconds they've done 7,500 damage, and because their attack speed's actually faster than 1, they'll actually, yeah, they'll kill that Ultra in less than 10 seconds. Which is quite, you know, it means you can run your Ultra here for about 5 or 4 seconds, soak up and then run away. Yeah, because of course his army is insane as well. Big engagement from Excal, a bit of teaming happening here. Andrew would be appalled. Big engagement from Excal here, and look at this, in the corner. Oh, but he's been spotted! Haha! How fun. That's very funny. He had a Corruptor and a Viking ready for the Excal. Again, Platika knowing the threat from Excal. And the big attack from Def Jam. Very strange of him to take out Excal's allies' compounder. I mean, yes, it's a lot of money. It's like 600 bounty that he gets from killing that. And Excal has to rebuy that, which is a big no-no for him, right? But very odd for him to fuck over the team that's less likely to win, as opposed to ganging up on the top right team. But like I said, Def Jam and all we need are less experienced, especially with sudden death, I think, in the pre-mades. They're not quite sure what to do or how to act. What I would like to see from Millionera, though, is to come around and take this tower off of Excal, and maybe even this one. Just with like 5 units, 5 Mutalisks, because that really does help in terms of reducing his income. But look at this, big push in from Excal. Time warps happened a little bit late, and Excal managed to take the compound out. I mean, he's got 205 health on his Marines, which is 50 health more than, you know, it's a good 25% more health than the Platika. Even though, look at that bounty discrepancies, 28k to that 16k. That's 12k more HP, more minerals he has, and he's got weaker Marines somehow. Which is a bit curious, like where is, I mean, yeah, I guess he's got attack damage in his HK, but how is Excal? His bounty doesn't reflect his upgrades. I guess when Vincent left, he actually doesn't have much in his army. Like, he doesn't have much at all. +6 and +5. So he must have left a good amount of minerals to Excal. Might even ask. Because looking at it, he's 12,000 bounty less. Yeah, he's 12,000 bounty less, but his marines are stronger. How interesting. Look at 220 health. Unless, of course, the tower income and the mid income has been affecting it, but no one's really been sat mid for that long. And it's only been 15 minutes since sudden death hit. So a bit curious. This tower needs to be held by someone. And yeah, even the enormous lead for Platika doesn't seem to be helping him all that much. I guess, yeah, he's gone for all of the upgrades on his HK, but that shouldn't be like 5k. It should be like 3k in how much he spent on them. So a bit interesting. But where are the tanks? Where are the sentries? Where are the BC and Vikings and Corruptors? Like, we need... Okay, good. Excal going for some Hellbats to go with this weird melee. This is like, who is it that plays this? Chewbacca right now. Hellbat, Warp Zealot, Ultralisk. This is the pub strat. I mean, the Wraiths are a nice touch, but effectively, this is a HellHound right here. But Platika, yeah, I mean, he's only going for that one control group, you know, just the HK and nothing else. I feel like, especially sentries, would do really well. Because now it's not about farming, it's about holding positions. He needs to be able to hold mid. And with his bounty, you would expect that he would be able to. But it's about supply, it's about having a big mass, and it's about trading money for mass and position. So he could, like, Excal's got the Hellbats in there. At the very least, those Hellbats are going to soak up some damage and die where... they will die instead of some of his Marines, instead of some of his Warp Cells. So if you think about the Hellbats as buying supply, maybe 50 supply each, as well as doing some damage, as well as you know, increasing the overall effectiveness of your army, it prevents your own units from dying. So you're trading the money that you're spending on the Hellbats for army supply, which is really, really big. I mean, it's why Ghost Nuke is so huge at sudden death, because yeah, it costs 150, but if you kill 100 supply with that Ghost Nuke, you're doing a big favor to your team. Because as long as you can sit here in the mid, you're going to get more money than any units that you're buying from the shop. I mean, unless you're like spamming Reapers and like Hellions and they're just dying immediately. But generally, like, if you're able to trade money that you buy from this shop for being able to sit in mid longer, you want to be doing that. Because it's 100 minerals, right? Like every 20 seconds. Yeah. And yeah, Bash has made the point that Excal's managed to get a few Merc compounds with his Wraiths. But if you think, that's not going to be more than like 3,000 minerals at most. So, you think, okay, he's been given 20k, he's on 20k, he's not on 30k, and his Marines are just insanely strong. 220 health. They've got 10 armor as well when you count the Ultralisk in. Meanwhile, you've got... And plus, Excal's had to rebuild the Wraith compound as well. Because Def Jam has still confused us to what's going on in the game. But yeah, I mean, now Excal, you know, he's playing the game. He's got tanks up, he's got Hellbats, he's got 2 masses from his ally as well. And he knows not to fight bottom right, because what's the point? They're going to die anyway. He knows to take away as much mass as he can from top right, and then try and hold mid himself. But definitely 4 tanks, 4 sentries, 6 corruptors, 8 Vikings on this team. If they just had that, they don't even need to micro it, just hold them here. Excal will be a little bit more afraid of pushing in like that. Oh, instant Thor death. And the Queen as well has been lifted and is going down. Yeah, it's going down. So yeah, I mean, yes, they just muted bottom right, and the Queen gave them plus 1,000 minerals, which is huge, but still, they need to be holding this position. Millie is always sat back here. I'm wondering if he's worried about being attacked, like a big drop or something, but very strange that they're not pushing more forward. Like, the fact that Excal is pushing these two teams who have more bounty than him is very weird, isn't it? Like, that's not normal. And again, Excal's trading. Look how much these Ultra soak up in terms of damage before they die. His mass is still alive, still shooting, and only once they're down, then he comes in. So this was the way for Excal to get back into the game, rather to finish them. But yeah, I mean, the bounty lead. I mean, Millie's also got quite a decent bounty now. So yeah, I mean, he wasn't ever supposed to. It's remarkable that he even got this close to killing these two by himself. But all I want to point out here is that he is using the money from pouring money into Ultralisks, into Hellbats, even into a Cyclone there, which I'm not sure if it was a misclick or not. But he's pouring money into Elites, and there we go again. More Hellbats, more units. Just leave one unit here, 3 units. Okay, good. See, Excal knows what's up. And now he's going to throw it in again. Sure, he's going to immediately lose this Hellbat. It's not going to gain him much money. Millie doing very well to lift units, time warp as well, make it very, very unfavourable for Excal to push into this position. So they're doing very well there, but it's just funny how this team has got such a huge bounty lead, and they're locked into their base by Excal. And funnily enough, Def Jam still going for the Wraith Compound. He's going to get it again. It's just very odd for him to do this, and he wants to recall immediately out after. Like, that was obviously, he just fed a lot there. Not 600 for the compound, definitely not 600. That wasn't 60 stalkers, I don't think. But yeah, that was unnecessary. Just kill it. Just literally stand here. He didn't need to run down either. He just stands here, blinks in, kills it, recall out. Excal's crippled. He still has his mass, so if Excal built it again, he just does it again. Big sneakeroonie over here. Oh, very empty. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, they've definitely resigned themselves to a more defensive position now, which is very funny. Like I say, what the hell? 3 oracles just sat there. Obviously, they killed something. Are those 3 oracles going to be enough of a distraction? Yeah, they are. Millionera, does he sense that this is too naked? That this is Excal's favourite thing? A nice naked base? Like, other people like naked women, but Excal, he likes a big naked base like this for his medevac to just penetrate into the base and then take that juicy CC. Like, this is way better than a naked woman for Excal. Maybe for me as well, I don't know. But Excal, he beat, who was it? Cons and Demonator? Like, 2 really good players that shouldn't have lost. Excal 2v1 them in a pre-made. I'm guessing. Yeah, I'll have that replay, but I'm not sure if I definitely if I've already casted it. But if I haven't, I probably will cast it because he wasn't supposed to win, and I was like, there's no chance that Excal's gonna lose this, and he just went in and trashed them anyway. Because they were fucking about. Yeah, Const was going like Kerrigan and stuff like that, where he didn't need to. And, oh, Millie, you just need to just check. Just 1 Mutalisk on patrol, like you had before, like a Viking and a Corruptor. That was excellent play. You just needed to have had them on hold position, so we didn't kill them with like a few units here, which is what happened. Because that's still like 250 minerals, but just 1 Mutalisk on patrol here would completely shut this down. Because Excal doesn't even have units to reach this. If he had a Marine here, you could have a Muta. He'd be happily just flying around here. In fact, you can actually put a Mutalisk back at 7 range, so even a Goliath cannot attack your Mutalisk there. So just 1 unit just patrolling, and it might even be game changing. You know. I mean, obviously I'm saying Millie because he's got Mutalist, but one Viking, one Corruptor, one anything. I mean, this is very strange. Why? Why are you attacking these guys? You don't need to attack these guys. You want to try and hold mid, and that's it. Hold mid and protect your base. Excal managing to take this tower, take away some of that income, and at least they've got one tower, but Excal's holding two. Ooh, why is it standing still? Why did it stand still for so long? I mean, you guys saw that, right? It just stood still, like it burrowed and then just stood still. Excal, of course, he doesn't care why the queen is standing still. Okay, well that's something to look into. Wow, I mean, look at this enormous push in from Excal. These HK are gonna do a lot of work here, though. Yeah. I mean, it's insane how much damage Excal is doing to these two players. Look, they haven't got compounds anymore.
Your forces.
Millionera has a lot of minerals. Oh, and so does Platy. Platika said, I've had enough. I'm gonna go into temples now. $18 armor on those warps. And here come the Hellbats again. But yeah, here we got some temples. Oh, okay, and what? How curious. Bunch of vanilla zealots there, which Millie didn't like, so he started killing them off. And this compound once again being targeted down. Not sure that was the correct decision there. Oh, and the big drop coming in. That compound going to be targeted down. I mean, again, every time Excal does this, he reduces their spawn rate by quite a bit as well. So it's, even if he loses medevac, like the fact that he's reducing the supply. Look how little supply Platika's on right now. Every time he does, like, it's a good like 10-20 seconds that those zealots just weren't being produced, which is huge, you know. So doing this and pushing forward, he might actually chip them down. Still though, I feel like 2 sentries and Excal's entire push is just destroyed. 30% damage reduction on all of the damage that's coming in from him. Also just some force fields to like cut his army in half at this choke point. It'd start to make him a lot less threatening. So just a lack of stuff. I mean, it's very, very good that Millionera, every time the fight comes in, Millionera is time warping and reducing movement speed, and I still haven't quite decided whether or not the attack speed is being reduced, because it doesn't say that in the tooltip anymore. Before it would say attack speed is reduced, but now it's just movement speed, so we'll have to check with Cons about that. But very weird game. I mean, yes, HellHound made a lot of mistakes and he was taken out early, that seems pretty normal, but from then on, like, this weird situation where this team isn't being pressured at all. Excal trying to kill, with Red leaving obviously, Excal trying to kill Platika and Millionera so hard. Such a strange game. Oh, and Excal actually opting in for Temple's Warps now, instead of the Wraiths. Because I suppose he's thinking, well, my Marines are so strong now that actually these 700 health Mutalisks aren't that much of a problem. Like, sure, they have 700 health, but my Marines have 255 health each. I think Excal also quite wise if he starts to invest in Red's army, because he can still spend money on his army and he's getting Marine and Temple, so it's his army now. So the money that he spends on these Marines and these temples is going to be a lot more effective than if he just keeps upgrading his own army. Okay, that's good. Good that they're finally holding mid, these two. But they need to be running in here, taking out that warp zealot, running in here, poking at this tower if anything's there, and really actually really trying to actively hinder Excal. And also the sentries really need to happen. Like just now, double force field, this entire fucking push is stopped, right? Millionera caught out of position here. But Excal pulling back, not sure why. Every other time he's just rammed himself in there, not sure why he's pulling back this time. Big ultra push in, but yeah, Millie just kind of stuck those Marines. Platika kind of insisting on the retreat. Guardian Shield needs to come out from the tower. Yeah, Guardian Shield not coming out from the tower. Lots of time warps would be good as well. I'm not sure if the guys are lagging as much as I am, but generally it's not looking good for these guys. No time warp to go. There's one time warp that's come out just now. Ultra finally goes down, but like I say, it's done so much in terms of soaking up damage. And actually, Excal not going to be able to finish them off once again. And a big YOLO play there because now Excal's low on mass. And you've got all we need. That's an F2 from Excal almost. No? No. Thor just fed as well, very interesting. And actually, all we need and Def Jam, because of the extra income that they're getting from the free tower, and they seem to also be able to hold this quite well because Excal's so focused on killing top right. Because of all the extra income that they're getting, they seem to be holding in upgrades quite well. Because, you know, they've got 160 HP with plus 17 damage. That's not bad by any measure. And then, of course, they've got a queen out. And it looks like Def Jam and all we need going for the kill on Excal. Big fungals taking out all of the Marines. Jesus, that's a lot of... Let's just check how much... Yeah, plus 9 hero damage. I was thinking that's a lot of hero damage to be able to kill 255 HP in one go like that. Big attack. And like I say, just the fact that they're reducing their supply by so much is huge. It's really... That really fucked Excal's chances up because now he's playing from behind supply against top right. So it's going to be really difficult. I don't know what Def Jam and Orina are expecting. If they kill Excal, I don't think that they're going to really be able to hold against top right. So I don't know what they're doing, trying to kill Excal off so much. I mean, obviously it would be great if they were both on full supply and then Excal takes out all of like 90% of this supply with 90% of his own supply. Then, you know, there's only 10% on either side, and then these two will just come in with a big mass advantage and absolutely wreck everyone. Excal said he's had enough of these guys. Every time he pushes top right, he puts himself in a vulnerable situation, and then they come in and try and take advantage of that. So Excal's saying, fine, clearly I need to kill you first. But then he's just realized just how much supply, that this is almost 1,000 supply of pure Lancers. Like, he hasn't got a single Marine to his name, because he said, well, all my upgrades are the Lancers and this Queen, so I'm just going to keep making Lancers and play with my Queen. Fungal on the Warp Zealots there. Big play with the Phoenix, and a big drop in from Excal on top of it. Phoenix is going to go down, but this Queen is still in a vulnerable position. Able to just about... Oh no, the Marines are way too strong. Even though the Phoenix died, and the drop was really wonky because there was tons of units where he tried to drop, so like the Marines fell over here. Yeah, even despite that fact, this is a huge, look at this, 21 damage, 34.5 actual damage, almost 70 damage per second. With stim, it's more than 70 damage DPS. So that's, you know, that's only like, that's like a quarter of a HK who's doing 240 damage DPS. So if you've got a Marine that's doing 70, it's only 4 Marines and you're doing 280 DPS with those 4 Marines, as much as one of these HK. So when you consider that, the Marines become very strong. Obviously, HK don't care about armor, which is the strength. So it's not quite true that it's 4 Marines of Excals as one HK worth of DPS. But still, it's going to be like 6 or 7 Marines is going to be 1 HK at this point. And of course, HK have big splash. So, good time warp. Phoenix is ready to... Oh, nice. Immediately takes off one of those oracles. Phoenix is ready to bat them away. Which is a nice composition, right? Because otherwise, if it was just the HK, then Excal wouldn't have a problem with just beaming them down with the oracles. But Millie's there, doing some teamwork, keeping this tower, keeping that mid. And like I say, that moment where Def Jam and All We Need took off quite a bit of supply of Excal with just some fungals, which Excal is absolutely not prepared to deal with. What has he got against those fungals? He hasn't got a Ghost, he hasn't got a Phoenix, he hasn't got anything to deal with the Queen. He's got Oracles, I guess, but you know, you see how ineffective they become just because they have such bad HP scaling. Big time warp, very nice to see. But yeah, you don't want to stay there in that weird concave. And the Ultras go down, or the Ultra goes down. The Oracles are going down there as well, all the Oracles are dead. Excal is left with just a weird mass of Zealots stuck in his Marine mass. Now the time warps are coming down, and HK meanwhile really getting that splash damage off on those on that enormous mass. So yeah, that. Oh, but meanwhile, look at that huge drop from Excal on the top right. Going to take that compound out immediately. I'm going to twitch up over there, but basically what happened obviously was Excal managed to take the compound. So although Excal lost 3 Oracles and Ultralisk there, he was able to use that distraction to take out the compound, which is by no means worth it, but at least it's better than just losing all of your shit, which is what he did. At this point, Excal is just left with that 1 medevac, but oh, he's actually going for Phoenix. Like I said, he has got nothing to deal with that Queen, so this is what he's going to get to deal with that Queen. Also, obviously, the Time Warp will help him, because he's probably thinking, God, these Time Warps are so annoying every time I charge up the ramp. My units are just very slowly crawling through, because 50% is a huge number when you're talking about move speed. So maybe that's for the time warp, or maybe it's to deal with the Queen. We'll see. But we know that he's got plenty of gas to play with, this Excal. Taking a look at the bounty real quick. Platika still on the lead, but definitely not as bad as it was before. So it's 40k, Excal's on 36k, right? So Excal, with the superior upgrades that he has, I'm still confused how, really managed to claw back the bounty in his own favour. But also Millionera actually starting to get up there with Platika and Excal. Was much farther behind than he is now. And I think that's mostly because how weak All We Need and Def Jam are getting. Without the extra income from either of these two towers, because they don't seem to be holding. Like Millionera is pretty much always fighting for this tower over here, and he's got Mutalisks against Temples, so, and then Phoenix for the Thors, so it's going to be difficult for the Thors to come up and actually deal any damage without the Phoenix killing him. So these towers mostly belonging to not bottom right teams, and at the same time, they're also fighting for mid, and green doesn't really ever have much of a chance to sit in mid. So the income is generally going very much in the favour of top right and top and bottom left. That Ultralisk going down again. I was under the impression that the Ultralisk could still move whilst in Graviton Beam, but it seemed to dangle there, and when it dangles it means it can't move. So that's pretty interesting. Whoops, that's not how you spell Ultra. Thank you, Bash, for your input there. Excal is a stupid A-mover, pretty much pub level. No, he's playing well. I mean, like I said, he almost actually managed to kill top right by himself, which really shouldn't have happened. And largely because top right didn't have sentries or tanks or anything else like that. But still, nevertheless, with a huge bounty lead against 2 players, you really shouldn't be able to. Alright, so we've got another push ready from Excal. He realizes that the attention of this team, the top right team, is in the middle. They want that income, and he's going to come in and swoop in there and take that when he can. But you notice Millie is resigned to the base defense. He knows that things can always happen in this type of thing, so he's pretty much just moving his phoenixes in, time warping, and whilst keeping this army in between the ramps here, which is quite interesting, really. Oh, Excal actually scanning with Red's, which in this case is Blue's CC. So it's not as obvious that it's a big red scan and then a big red army coming in. No, it's a blue scan, and then they might even be thinking like, huh, who's blue? I'm blue, you know, Millionera's blue, why is there a blue scan? Oh wait, it's red scan, and then the drop happens and their compound is lost. But yeah, I like what Millionera is doing, because he's been support from the beginning, and he's still support now, and he's doing the support thing of defending whilst the main army, the main team carry is securing mid. Because if it were the other way around, obviously Millionera wouldn't be able to trade well with Excal, given the bounty difference and the upgrade difference especially. So not quite sure about this. Yes, he'll be able to get some nice trades on the Stalkers. But at the same time, you can't really push into a queen like this, because look, his entire army has been fungled. Now Platika actually coming in to help, but decides against it, which I would say is the right choice. It is just bottom left against top right now. It's Excal against top right. Bottom right team are just there to be annoying, and if I were them, I would keep dropping units onto these towers and just try and sneak a few income cycles for those 20-second incomes. But otherwise, you know, you just decide, okay, we're in the middle here. If we are too annoying, if we lose too much mass, just this amount of mass, and then all of a sudden these 2 CCs are going down. Is that a Nova? Oh no, it's just a ghost. It looks like a Nova in the picture. But yeah, this is what should have happened from the beginning of sudden death. Platika should have had mid. He still needs sentries and tanks. That's the last time I'm gonna say he needs sentries and tanks, because he really does need sentries and tanks. Yeah, that's the last time to deal with any pushes against this. That's a very empty base. Oh, I see. He's much more confident now, because look at he's gone for the 3 elites there. 2 of them on patrol. One of them's having a nice little stand. I would definitely just put them on hold though, so they don't get lost and confused. But yeah, this should have happened earlier. Like, I mean, they did do this earlier, but after those units died, they should have replaced them so that they can bring more mass in the middle and hold that middle for longer. Because in the end, if your army is less of the time here and more of the time here, and you're able to hold mid more, that's going to end up as having more minerals. Especially if you don't keep losing this compound. I would even just commit to the full 3 Corruptors and 4 Vikings. So if Excal on a shift click moves his Medi through, he will just the sheer significance of losing an entire medevac supply full of units for nothing, because you'll get no income from that, to these units here is immense, and these will be useful for the rest of the game. Like, this is always a weak spot for the defense, right? So you're always going to be weak here, just having many there. So if you've got 7 elites there, it's only like 800, 900 minerals if you add them up. This will protect it. Like here, Excal's been already. You see that this is a shift click, so you could patrol these or keep them on hold like here, and Excal will always bring them here, or at least even like here, right? Because you don't really bring your medevac through here. One, because you're worried that this Zelnaga tower is going to see something, and if you look at Platika's vision right now, he can see a little bit. So you're worried that you're going to squeak your medevac past a little bit. And two,
Your
as I often
forces
do, and
are under
other players
attack.
will also do, is they just bring one like unit and put him here, because then that's going to grant you vision. If any medevac comes along, you'll be able to see like an entire radius fall, and then that drop isn't going to be quite as surprising as it needs to be. So yeah, if you've got your corruptors or many like pretty much here where the Xel'Naga tower doesn't see, but Excal is likely to move on a shift click, then that's an entire medi supply full of units for free, which is in the sort of balance of the game where you have to fight for every engagement. That's quite large. Oh, a Void Seeker coming out from Excal, so that is what the Phoenix was for all along. It was for this ultimate unit that you don't actually see very often. Yeah, what's happened though is Millie's been distracted fighting these guys, I think. He needed to have jumped in here because there's nothing that he has against Mutalisks anymore. So he needs to, yeah, like this is excellent. Like what is Excal gonna do about this? He's lost his wraiths, he's stopped that. Voidseeker, however, doesn't care about those two Phoenixes and seems to be too fast for these Mutalisks. Oh, and then he's used the ability, right? So the Citrus Oxide is on now. So does that mean he needs to turn it off?
Acknowledged.
Resistant to 60% of incoming damage and a boost in its movement speed. Yeah, that's pretty sick. That's not how you spell being though, Cons. That's like, if you were to throw a bunch of bees at people, then you might be being them when you're throwing the bees at them. But you need to remove an E there, mate. So hopefully... See, this is what Cons gets. If he doesn't watch my videos and he doesn't watch my stream at all, then he deserves to have a shit map where he doesn't bother fixing the things that I point out on it. That's what you deserve, Cons. Just remember that. But if you do watch them, then fair play to you. You're getting all the beta testing that you need right here. And I'll point everything out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay. So, at this point I think Platika's got it. Like I say, and in the other videos, like, once you've got map dominance like these guys have, and you've also protected your flank like this, you're pretty safe. Like, what can Excal do? Like, if you were him, what could you possibly do in this situation? Yeah, you've got two masses, you've got two sets of marines, you've got an ultimate hero, you've got an ultralisk, but these guys are sat getting way more minerals than you, and you're alone. You're just one mind against two, so you know you're not supposed to win in this situation. Looking at the bounty right now, 47k, almost 48k for Platika, 40k. So Millionera has actually caught up to Excal, and if you consider the middle income with the tower income, you know, they'll be quite far ahead, I think. I mean, yeah, you see that Ultralisk has tapered off in strength, immediately goes down. A Void Prism, nice Graviton Beam, very nice Graviton Beam, gets a HK. Unfortunately, HK are just so cheap that killing them off one by one rather than just EMPing them all in one go is a bit dangerous. Excal realizing the situation he's in. There's no more desperate move. There's no more crazy strategy to do. This is the extent of Marine Arena late game. This is where it all ends. And there it is. Yeah, I mean, the two ghosts have come out. It's very nice. I was actually thinking Excal, perhaps rather than the Void Seeker, he could have gone double ghost and actually EMP'd, because you can EMP Phoenixes to death quite easily, because you know they've only got 1800 health, and you know an EMP can do like 500 damage with enough upgrades. So you can do 2k damage in EMPs, which would kill the HK really easily and kill the Phoenixes really easily. That doesn't really change the fact that you know, they've just got so much DPS in their armies now compared to you. I mean, obviously Excal's Marines are still much stronger, but you know, at the same time, there's only one of him, and Vincent's Marines are really bad compared to the top right's Marines. So unless you went for Dark Archon or something, like Dark Archon and the double ghost play, something like what Star Elf might used to do, like really micro heavy hero play. So like maybe not even the Dark Arm, but 2 DTs, maybe like a Festa and double ghost, EMP everything they have, and then fungal everything they have. and then that way you've got a supply advantage, or EMP everything you have and start nuking from several directions. That's pretty much the only way you're going to get back to the game. But obviously, generally speaking, you're not supposed to be able to outplay 2 players with more bounty than you. That's not supposed to happen, but I'm not saying that you can't, you know. And all we need actually left there, he has just been sat in his base for quite a long time now, so I would also be a bit bored thinking I can't see anything, can't do anything, it's pretty lame, I'm out of here. And yeah, he left. So fair play, I would have done the same thing probably. And it's only really because Excal made such ballsy moves with the double Ultralisk Hellbat pushes that this game has lasted for so long. Otherwise it should have really ended a sudden death with Platika sat in the middle with his huge bounty lead. Excal timidly just sat there with his strong army, but only one army. And yeah. There are the ghosts. Big EMPs coming out. You can see quite a bit of damage done to those HK, but I'm interested to see exactly how much. +9. Oh, yeah, they didn't have enough energy, I think, for some EMPs, because, let's check. +9, and he's doing 475 damage to heroes. So let's call it 500. He should be doing 1000 per ghost, so 2000 damage. And these HK actually have 3.5k health. So yeah, you might need like +15 or something before you can actually kill these HK straight up. But the bounty difference of 21,000 pretty much higher than Def Jam. Pretty big. Did I have a what's it called? An obs though, so you could probably just stand here and snipe them. Because the snipe damage is going to be quite insane at this point. That's 900 damage and then an extra 400. 5 times 9, so 4.5k. That's how much a ghost will do right now. A lot more than you need for the snipe on the HK. But like I said, killing HK isn't really a big deal at this point, especially just one. It's only 175 minerals. So when you consider 100 minerals for 20 seconds in mid, that's 40 seconds or rather 30 seconds, and you've got a HK back, plus you've got towers. Pretty lazy again, just bring a small pack of units over here, scan, kill that warp zealot, shift click your units over here, then you've got a tower for a little bit. Pretty lazy to just let the enemy have the tower, unless they don't realise that towers give you money, but I'm hoping that they do. Enormous push from Millionera happening. I would still be a little bit afraid, wouldn't you? That you've lost all this mass attacking, and then Excal just pushes in with 18 or 2,000 supply of his units and Red's units and kills you. I'd still be afraid. I'd definitely just like try and nuke Excal first and then kill these guys. But yeah, one last desperate attempt up in the corner here will be stifled by these 2 units. Mind you, there is obviously the option of just boosting past it and hoping that you will take the CC out anyway, but I don't think that at this point his army is strong enough to drop. Enormous push again. They're really going for this team first before Excal. Bash, why do you think that I think Stim increases marine damage? That's just rude. I don't think that. And actually, I can tell you exactly, it increases DPS by 33%. It will increase attack speed by 33%. How rude. I've got this rude guy in the Twitch chat, guys. If you can report him, that would be really appreciated. His name's Bash Maksha, or otherwise known as Butt Smasher. Either one is fine, just report that. Any way you can, like the police, FBI, immigration services in the US, for example, because you might want to go back there one day. Anyway, obviously the Russian equivalent of that. Any place like that. Enormous push, obviously. What are they going to do against pretty much max marines? I'm interested to see if he can actually buy any more. Oh. Actually, quite modest marine upgrades here. He could buy quite a bit more. check Excal. 675 we're up to. Big ghost play. I'm not sure. Is that for, I'm guessing that's for nuking, right? Because there's nothing that you need to lash particularly. But a nuke could really, like, if he gets a nuke off, that could be enough supply lead to finish them off. So yeah, I guess this is, like I said, I was thinking 2 ghost nukes because you can nuke one place and then nuke in the other place, or you can bring 1 ghost round, EMP the recall towers, the support towers, so they can't recall, and then if you start nuking, they will be frantically, first of all, they'll try and scan your ghost and they'll be like, oh shit, that's not working, and then they'll be like, okay, let's just recall out, and then they can't do that either. So EMPing the support towers there, you can always get in there, that's not the problem. Get in there, EMP, recall out, or just run back. Usually you can just run back, and then you can make things happen. But Excal now playing with 2 ultimate heroes. He's got the Void Seeker and he has the Nova. Like I said, it was slightly dangerous of Millionera and Platika to kill off bottom right and lose so much supply in the process. So there goes the big nuke I was talking about. Oh, but the Nova's already dead. That Nova ran straight up the ramp and immediately got wrecked. Big recall to save the HK, but once it's lifted, you cannot recall out of the Graviton Beam. Finally, there are the sentries that I haven't mentioned at all game. Ready to assist Platika. Like I said, buying elites so that you can trade money for supply, sit mid a bit longer. Ooh, Void Seeker going down, BC going down, HK still doing their work, and really running through now. Switching our way over. Oh, and Excal's drop has just been stifled. You saw 2 numbers there. That was the Corruptor and the Viking. 1 Viking will survive. Really weird nuke happening here. Everything will be dead before Platika lands this nuke. But it doesn't matter because they've already taken Excal CC and Red CC to follow. I mean, very well played to top right team. Yeah, just generally very well played. Good mix of units, good understanding of how the mechanics work. Everybody else played really well. Obviously, Red DC'd, but he didn't play very well anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Excal doing really well with the 2 armies, and HellHound messing up a little bit of the VC there. Yeah, he should definitely watch how Bash plays, because it's quite clear then, like, the real strength of the BC and the map dominance that you get from that. But generally speaking, everyone played very well, and it was a good pre-made, and it lasted for quite a while. It lasted 2 hours and 12-minute game time, which is a bit longer than the normal pre. I would say about an hour and a half would be the normal pre, so about 40 minutes longer than it should have been, or that it normally is. Big APM lead for Demonator. That's pretty normal because he just goes for very micro-intensive builds. Millionera following. Platika. Excal on the solid 100. Actually, you'll notice Excal's almost always on this solid 100 APM. Almost half of something that Demonator does, but the win rate of these 2 players, of Excal and Demonator, are pretty much the same. I would say about 40% of the pre-mates they play, they win. So the APM doesn't make a huge difference. Because Excal will make better decisions generally. And yeah, 63 APM for the BC player. Not very smart. Alright, but that was good generally. Never again have Boombot just been signing me the whole time. Yeah, I agree. Okay, I don't know, are we going to get another pre-made or not, but yeah, Excal's going to 1v1, so I think everyone's pretty tired after that 2-hour pre-made. If there will be another pre-made, I will of course cast it. Otherwise, it was a good game. I'll upload this one to YouTube, and I'll see everybody there in the comments section.